I want to talk about how to handle your emotions around your environment. I just got back from a couple of days out of town, and I had a chance to connect with a lot of people and have some great conversations, build amazing relationships. And for a significant portion of the day, I was surrounded by a lot of people. I was very active, very stimulated. And then another part of the day, I was completely alone. I was just in the apartment that I was staying at. My family was not with me, so it was just me, myself, and I, right? And I spent those 2 days in that way, kind of alternating between being with a bunch of people, traveling in a very crowded plane and in a very crowded train, and then getting to the venue, starting to do things, getting to work, and then shifting environments, right? And I'm sure all of you watching know what I'm talking about. Like, we're shifting environments constantly. Sometimes we're by ourselves, sometimes we're with others. And here's what I want you to know. The best thing that you can do is find your middle point of energy and know where do you feel balanced and in alignment. And so when you can tap into that frequency of serenity, of calmness, no matter what you've got going on in your life. Notice that I'm not saying everything is aligned, you should be happy, everything is working. No. This is about you developing your own inner compass, your center of gravity, to be able to say, I'm good. Like, I feel at peace. I feel centered. I feel in a state of love, of emotional connection, of groundness, right? I'm feeling okay. I'm okay. I'm safe. Calming your nervous system so that when you shift environments and when you shift from being with people or by yourself, you can focus on finding that point and not losing that. That is going to be an incredible hack. I got back now. And I'm, unwinding, getting a few things done for work. I just finished recording a podcast episode. I cannot wait for you guys to listen to it. It'll be released next week. But I'm just getting ready for my kids to get home from school, and kind of reconnecting with them after 2 days and just having this energy of like, you're back, Mom. We can't wait to see you. Like, oh my gosh. My son's like excited about movie night tonight. We're going to watch a movie. They've already decided what's the movie we're going to watch. Like, there's big plans. Okay. Big plans happening tonight in my household. And yet here I am just trying to like center myself and find that inner calmness, that inner peace, and say, no matter where I'm at, whether I'm in a room full of people that I'm networking in a live event and this and that, whether I'm in a train surrounded by other people, whether I'm by myself, just having dinner by myself, going to bed, just not talking to anyone because I was staying in an apartment just by myself. No matter what my environment looks like, I'm okay. Like, I'm good. Around me, there's always going to be people who have different emotional states, right? Especially if you have a family, your kids have a certain energy, your spouse has a certain energy, your clients have a certain energy. And how are you grounding yourself? How are you being able to say, this is where I want to be. Here's what my energy needs to feel like. This is where I feel good. And no matter what's happening around me, I'm going to find this point of connection with myself. It's almost like meeting the real you, meeting the real essence of your human being, and being so familiar with knowing how to get back to it. Because I know that like this enlightenment that I'm feeling right now is just ephemeral. It's going to pass. I am going to find myself wanting to tense up very, very soon. There will be things, that are going to get me out of alignment, that I'm going to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to stress out again, right? And then the question though becomes, how do I get back to this state, right? Yes, you're going to get derailed. Yes, life happens. Yes, things are going to come at you. And you may not know how to react in the moment. You may even get yourself out of alignment, but then how do you get back? That's the question, right? So I'm getting ready for a busy weekend. I'm going to do, all sorts of things. There's some work, there's some play, there's some parenting time, there's some, time for every other things that you need to do, that I have in my life. Working out, time with my husband, time with my kids, time with my clients, with my business, everything. But who's the most important part of this? It's me. How do I ground myself, find myself anchored? It's in me. No one else is responsible for that. No one else can control that. It's just me. How do I create that center of gravity? How do I connect with my own inner stillness? How do I find a way to get back to myself, right? No one can teach you that. No one can show you that. You're the only one that can find that and discover what that actually feels like. And then when you're there, hold on to that and remember that. One of the greatest hacks that I found to remind myself of that is meditation. And the actual origin of the word meditation means to become familiar. If you didn't know it, now you know. Meditation means to become familiar. So when all goes wrong, and if you're finding yourself in a moment where you just need a breather, you need to say, hey, how do I find myself again? Like, where am I? Where's this person that was calm and still just a few hours ago? Meditate. Because when you meditate, you can come back to that center of gravity, that stillness, that place of surrender and acceptance. And you can say, whoa, here I am again. I just needed a minute. I just needed to come back to my own stillness, right? And find that environment that gets you to feel that stillness. Whether it's just going outdoors, sitting in nature, sitting by the grass in your garden, in your patio, by the ocean, by a lake, wherever you need to go, whether it's in your room, I don't care where you go. What I want is for you to think about, what is your path, right? What is your path to finding yourself again? That's what I want you to think about. And that's what I'm thinking about myself now. I had these 3 incredible days. It's always interesting when you disrupt the pattern interrupt, right? We love pattern interrupts. In music, it's the best. When we have a change in tonality, we're into another key all of a sudden. And it's like, whoa, I wasn't expecting this. That's what travel does for me. When I get out of my home for a few days, it's like a pattern interrupt. And I always come back fueled with tons of ideas. And that's why I love about just being in these types of shifts from my life, because I know that I come back a new person in a way. I learned something that I wasn't going to get if I just kept doing my day things, right? By the way, I talked about that yesterday, but I'm going to remind for those of you just watching me, if you haven't yet registered for our upcoming live event in Miami, April 10th and 11th, you need to be there. Send me a message, DM me, connect with me, type event, and I'll send you all the details. It is going to be the best pattern interrupt for you this year. The best way. Because everything that I am learning in my own interruptions of patterns, when I travel, when I attend events, when I'm constantly in these moments of development and transformation, I'm infusing in a compressed 2-day experience for anyone that wants to learn how to shift their life, how to improve their business, how to grow, not just the tactics and strategies, but also learn how to get back to their own truest selves. Learn to find that version of themselves that will be the ones building the next stage of their lives. That's the core of what our 2-day event is going to be. And you can only do that when you are in this intimate, in-person, in real-time transformation, right? So I want to encourage you to send me a message. There's links here in my feed. You can check it out. If not, send me a message and I'll send you all the details. And I really want to encourage you to look for your own ways of disrupting your patterns. What are the patterns that you're in right now? How can you find a shift, whether it's through meditation, whether it's through traveling, taking a step out of your day-to-day? Find a way to find yourself. Let me repeat that. Find a way to find yourself. You can only do that if you get out of the routine. You can only do that if you stop the status quo, if you stop the inertia that you're in. Because the more you repeat the things you're doing, the more your brain starts repeating and becoming a vicious cycle. For me, I feel like what I'm just sharing with you now, I wouldn't have been able to share had I not had this pattern interrupt for the last 2 days and just left my home, left my routine. And don't get me wrong, I love being where I'm at. I came home, I was like, there's no place like home. I love it. Everything, there's everything that I need and more. But if I hadn't interrupted the pattern of my life, I was feeling very stressed up until 2 days ago. Lots of things going on in my business, in my life. And I was feeling it mount. Even my markers, like I have all these little things that I track my biometrics, which is something that I also recommend you do. You're going to be able to see how stress impacts your body, how stress creates all these ways of shifting your biological markers. And I can see how all of that is improving just from these 2 days of interrupting my pattern and just getting out of my thought process and starting to see other things and think differently and find that inner stillness, that inner peace. So think about what that looks for you. Of course, if you are interested in joining me and my team on April 10th and 11th, being in Miami, spending 2 days, doing all sorts of amazing activities to talk about music business, to talk about entrepreneurship, to talk about developing a next version of yourself, to enjoy the nature, the outdoor yoga that we're going to do, all of the amazing activities in addition to the learning and the networking and the business building component, send me a message. I'd love to have you be a part of that 2-day experience. And also, let me know what your ways of interrupting your patterns are going to look like. Let me know what's helpful. Let me know what else you would like for me to share. I love hearing from you all. I'm going to be doing more of these lives, and I want you to be open to sharing your questions, sharing the things that you maybe need help with. What are some things that are resonating with you from what I'm sharing? Is this helpful? Yes? Send me a message. Is this helpful? What are your key takeaways? What else would you like for me to talk about? because I'm here to serve, I'm here to share, I'm here to grow, and spread the word of all of the goodness of what I know and what I can do for people. And the more I can hear from you, the better I can serve. So let me know what your questions are. Send me a message. This is the beautiful thing about the time we live in, is that for a click of a button, we can be connected. So reach out. Let me know what your takeaways are from this session today, and I hope it helps. Go find yourself, and then let's connect.